Hey, this is Bill. Welcome back to the channel. Here's one of the biggest questions a kid can ask. Was Adam really the first human being ever alive? And if he was, then where on earth do dinosaurs fit in? Did dinosaurs come before people, after people, or at the same time? This question can sound like it needs one quick answer, but it actually mixes together two very different kinds of story. One is a question of faith and meaning. The other is a question of fossils, DNA, and Earth's deep history. Both are important to many people, but they answer questions in different ways. So let us carefully untangle the whole thing. First, what does the Adam story actually say? Adam is the first man in the creation story found in the book of Genesis. In that story, Adam and Eve live in the Garden of Eden. For Jews, Christians, and Muslims, Adam is an important figure. The story speaks about God, human beginnings, choices, and responsibility. It is not just a list of dates and measurements. That is why believers can read the story in different ways. Some believe Adam was the first individual human created by God. Some read Adam as a story about all humankind. And some hold faith in God while also accepting evolution as the process of life. This video is not here to tell anyone what they must believe. It is here to explain what each kind of answer is trying to answer. Now let us switch to the evidence scientists study. Science studies the natural world by looking for evidence that can be tested. Fossils are the preserved remains or traces of ancient living things. They can be bones, teeth, footprints, nests, or even tiny marks in stone. Rocks can also tell scientists which layers are older and which are younger. And some rocks contain elements that work like extremely slow clocks. That lets scientists estimate how long ago many events happened. Using this evidence, scientists have built a very long history of life. And the dinosaur part of that history comes very, very early. The first dinosaurs appeared more than 200 million years ago. They lived on Earth for roughly 165 million years. That is an almost impossible amount of time to imagine. Dinosaurs were not all giant monsters like the movies show. Some were small enough to fit under a table. Some ate plants, some ate meat, and some had feathers. They changed over time into thousands of different species. Then, about 66 million years ago, a giant asteroid hit Earth. The impact threw dust high into the sky and caused a global disaster. Most dinosaur groups died out after that event. But not every dinosaur disappeared. The small feathered branch survived and became modern birds. So pigeons, eagles, penguins, and chickens are living dinosaurs? That means dinosaurs are still around, just much fluffier than before. Now look at the other end of the timeline. Modern humans are called Homo sapiens. Our species appeared around 300,000 years ago. That is much later than the non-bird dinosaurs disappeared. If Earth's history were one long movie, humans arrive almost at the final second. So according to the scientific timeline, no human ever met a non-bird dinosaur. People did meet mammoths, saber-toothed cats, and giant sloths. But those animals lived much closer to our own time. The human story also did not begin with one sudden morning and one magic first person. Evolution works through populations across many generations. Parents have children who are a little different from them. Over an enormous amount of time, those small differences add up. So scientists do not point to one fossil and say this was the very first human. There was no sharp line where a parent was not human and a child suddenly was. It was more like watching colors slowly blend across a rainbow. You can pick a point and give it a name, but nature does not draw a hard border. Before Homo sapiens, there were other human species. Neanderthals were one of our close relatives. For a time, different human species lived on Earth at the same time. Some of them even had children together. Many people alive today still carry some Neanderthal DNA. That makes the human family tree much more like a bush than a ladder. And it reaches back millions of years before modern humans appeared. Humans and chimpanzees share an ancient common ancestor. That does not mean humans came from the chimpanzees alive today. It means we are distant cousins on a very old family tree. DNA gives scientists another way to see those family connections. Fossils show bodies and bones, while DNA shows family resemblance. When many kinds of evidence point the same way, the picture becomes stronger. So what does science say about Adam being the first guy alive? Science cannot test a spiritual role or the meaning of a sacred story. But science does say humans came from earlier populations over a very long time. And science says dinosaurs lived long before Homo sapiens. That does not force every person of faith to draw the same conclusion. Some see Adam as a literal first human. Some see Adam as the first person in a special relationship with God. Some see Adam as a symbolic figure representing humanity. Those are questions people explore through faith, tradition, and careful thought. The fossils still tell their own remarkable story. For more than 160 million years, dinosaurs ruled the land. Then their extinction opened space for mammals to spread and change. Much later, one branch of mammals eventually led to us. That does not make humans the goal of evolution. Evolution has no finish line and no plan to make one special winner. It is a story of life adapting to changing places over huge amounts of time. And every one of us is part of that astonishing story. So were dinosaurs before Adam? On the scientific timeline, absolutely. Were dinosaurs before modern humans? Also, absolutely. Was Adam the first human? That depends on how a person understands the Genesis story. And that is okay, because different questions can need different kinds of answers. The best part is that the real story is even bigger than the question. It includes ancient rocks, feathered dinosaurs, early humans, and the stories we tell about ourselves. And there is still so much left for us to discover. Scientists discover new fossils all the time, and every fossil can add a clue. Sometimes a new discovery changes a small part of the family tree. That is not science failing, that is science learning. Good questions are not dangerous. They are how we learn more. You can wonder about ancient fossils and also think deeply about meaning. You do not have to pretend that a hard question is a bad question. The world is old, life is complicated, and that is what makes it amazing. Every answer we find usually opens up another even bigger question. That is the adventure of trying to understand where we came from. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this, hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a new one. This has been Bill. See you in the next video.